Good morning and welcome to our live stream. It is currently 9 May 2021, approximately 9 a.m. Doge just had a pretty nice falling off last night overnight. If you've been monitoring, watching what we've been going over, this should not be that much of a surprise. There were massive warning signs all over the place. So shouldn't be anything too crazy or too surprising. So let's go ahead and dive in on this sucker. Let's see how things are going. All right, so this is a live stream on Facebook right now. So if you are in the chat, go give me some thumbs up, give me some likes. Let me know you're here, and we will be getting this going. So like every live stream, the first thing that we'll be doing a market scan over our Bitcoin dominance. This is what we do every single day. And as you guys know, we have a very consistent and rational and logical approach to trading. And so because of that, we do our things the same way every day. So let's look at our weekly chart on the Bitcoin dominance, see how we're doing. This weekly breaker is still holding up, still doing very well. The next level down here is way down here. So right now we are ranging inside of this. We don't know what direction it's going to break or how it's going to react necessarily, but we do know that there is a lot of money flowing out of Bitcoin and altcoins. So that doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon on the weekly. Let's go to the 4 hour. We have had some sort of a resistance, some sort of a bounce, and it looks to be trending up a bit. Now, I think a lot of this money actually is from Doge crashing last night. I think that the Bitcoin dominance is rising simply because so much money is flowing out of Doge and into other currencies right now, or at least leaving the market as a whole. So it's not really too surprising that we are starting to trend up a little bit. However, even after that crash, it does appear like we're starting to drop back down. This weekly level is providing a little bit more resistance, or a little bit more resistance and support than I was expecting, because it is interacting with it on low time frame really well. So nothing too surprising. I guess this actually is a pretty serious resistance, and it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get back down below. So once we do that, we should accelerate, and we should be looking at the 40.5 to 40.3 level, or 42.3 level. That's really what we're going to be looking at, finding our major resistances for just to see what's going to happen. We really don't know. So let's see. All right, so Bitcoin dominance chart. That's what we're looking at. Let's go to the total 2 chart. So if you're new to the stream, this is the actual dollar amount, or the value in dollars of how much money is in the crypto market. Okay, so it's currently $1.2 trillion in the market. However, this does not include Bitcoin. The total chart includes Bitcoin. The total 2 chart does not include Bitcoin. We use a total 2 chart as altcoin traders because we don't trade Bitcoin. Okay, so this basically gives us a snapshot as to how healthy the market is as a whole. Well, as you guys have seen, we went up, we consolidated inside this blue channel, we broke out of the blue channel, and now we are continuing upward. Awesome. Everything looks great so far. Let's go to the weekly real quick. Yeah, disregard the volume. The volume doesn't really make sense on this chart. We have to go to the individual ones. So it gives us a volume profile, but I really don't think that's accurate. So disregard that. That looks fine. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, so we see how we had a massive amount of resistance in this little cluster right here. So because of that, we do expect this to come back down and retest it. We have not gotten a full retest. We did get fairly close, but I do expect that we will hit at the bare minimum this breaker. So I think we have a little bit further to drop. So I think the alts are not done dropping. I do believe that just because it's this one chart. Now, is it possible that we do something like this and just keep going up? Yes. All right, that's not unrealistic. This was a sweep of this low. Maybe that's enough. I just don't think so. With the information we have right now, I don't think that's going to happen. The other reason why I think it's going to drop is because we are expecting Bitcoin to drop further. And when Bitcoin drops, even if the alts don't lose value based upon the BTC pairing, they will lose value based upon the US dollar pairing. Can't talk this morning. So even though the alts will hold up pretty dang well, I do expect that whenever Bitcoin does have a really good drop, and I do think that's going to be coming soon, it's going to do something like this, down in here, and then continuation upward. I think that's very realistic. So this is my primary expectation for the total too right now. That being said, it's not necessary. It doesn't have to happen like this. It very well could continue up. No matter what, I do expect this to hold. I do expect this level to hold. Is it possible or even healthy for us to drop all the way back down here? Yes, it actually is healthy. That would be a really, really nice retest. And it's not out of the question because we do get some pretty massive drops. Let me find the price tool. Price from here. Let's go from the top down here. That's a 30% drop. That's not unrealistic in crypto. So this is actually not out of the question. Make this very clear. And even if it does get down there, I do not think it'd be unhealthy. And if we are expecting Bitcoin to drop to the 40s, then this might be a realistic drop. So if you look at your profile right now and don't think you can handle a 30% drop, you need to be reallocating some of your funds and making yourself less exposed to the market, because this is, I wouldn't say likely, but it's extremely possible. All right. That's total two. Now, these are the culmination of all the altcoins together. We've looked at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So now let's go to the individual coins and see how they're looking. First one I'm going to start off with is Bitcoin, just because that's what we're used to, right? This is how we normally do it, and then I'll start stretching off the other things. But Bitcoin is what we always start with. We always want to know what Bitcoin's doing. Why? Because Bitcoin is king. It's the one that manages. It's the one that really chooses the direction for the rest of the market. Although the coins don't necessarily follow Bitcoin step to step, they at least rhyme. Okay, they do at least rhyme with this coin. So the first thing that I'm looking at right now, well, let's go back a bit. I'm going to give you my expectation. We haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm going to explain what I expect to happen, or what I've been expecting to happen for the last while. Okay. This right here is a 4-hour breaker. I can zoom in and show you the actual breaker itself, but regardless, the point is this was a very clear 4-hour breaker. It came down here, tested it once from the downside, tested it a second time from the downside, dropped further, tested it a third time from the downside, a fourth time from the downside, fifth time, retraced a little bit, and then finally broke through on the sixth time. So the point is that this was a massive resistance that really, really was very strong and hard to get through. So because it was such a strong resistance to get through the first time, we expected that to be a very solid support when it came back in for it. Well, as you guys see, it most certainly was not a strong support. Even though it was such a very strong resistance, it did not have a proper flipping of the support resistance flop. So because of that, we expect that this to once again become a very hard resistance. It's still resistance. This was just a deviation from the range, and this is still a very, very solid resistance. So if you've been watching for a while, I told you guys my expectations were for this thing to drop like it did. And then once it did retrace, I expected it to come up here, hit it, and then fall back down again. I do think that is what's playing out right now. We did get a pretty healthy shot into this 4-hour breaker, but we most certainly did not break through it. Could we come back up here and test it again? Yes. Okay, nothing wrong with that at all. The point here is that this is going to be a strong, solid resistance until it finally breaks through. And I do not know when it's going to break through. So my expectations are for us to either break through here, or we're going to be going down tremendously further. There's really no other way to look at this. It's either going to bust through here or go down further. My expectations are for it to go down further. Now, to further my bias, this was a very clean 5-wave movement down on the Elliott wave pattern. Let's go to a different chart, show the volume better. Okay, and you guys can see this volume right here is higher than this volume. If you have high volume on a downtrend, that means that it is a strong movement. That means there's a lot of people selling, there's a lot of sell pressure. If there's not a lot of people buying or trading on an uptrend, that means that this is a weak movement. That means that this is expected to be a bearish sort of movement. So because of that, this has a lot of strength. This looks like a corrective structure, so an impulse down, corrective structure, which means we expect another impulse of about the same length, okay? So if we do it from here, you see how we're getting down to the low 40s. Now, the major resistance level that everyone's eyeing, is right here. This is the spot everyone wants to buy at. So because this is the level that's so incredibly obvious, because we have this 2-week massive breaker, and we also have the 200 moving average in this area, this level is extremely watched after, and this is what's very sought after. This would be a very healthy retracement, and I would be selling everything I own to buy at this level if I could, because that is a very solid level. And I really do expect that to be the final bottom if we get there. Now, everything goes out the window on that plan if we get above this level. Okay, this level right here, 61222. If we get above this level, all this goes out the window. Why? Because my entire bias is because of this 4-hour breaker holding up. If we get above this 4-hour breaker and we close above this previous double top, I'm going to say, okay, I guess I was wrong. Okay, I guess that for some reason this corrective structure actually wasn't a corrective structure. It was some sort of a initial movement 1-2-1-2 with an impulse up, which is possible. I don't think it's very realistic right now, but it's possible. And if that does happen, it does bust above, then I have to say, okay, well, obviously I was wrong. We're going to continue up. So as traders, you must be flexible and you must not be too hard stuck on your own biases. So I think if we do get down here, this will be an incredible buy opportunity. But if we do get above here, then this thing's going to continue up. And I think the next leg will easily get us to 70, 80,000 and probably significantly higher than that. Okay. All right, cool. So I think that's where I'm at right now. So we go to the lower time frame. Let's look at how we did. As you guys can see, this 4-hour breaker just has consistently given us perfect reactions. Came up here, massive drop. Came back up here again, pretty damn big drop. Now, the bullish case, if you want this thing to continue going up, didn't get a notification. What the hell? It's weird. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys. It sucks. We're now making some sort, and it's not beautiful, it's not pretty yet by any means, but we are making some sort of a structure as to where it may be making a type of ascending triangle, so where we can bust through that. That would be a very bullish thing. So if we get a close above some of these major levels, then I mean we can definitely start adding some of our position back and start getting ready for maybe this is gonna be a movement that brings us up. But until we really get that close above here, it's just too high of a risk right now. It's just too high of a risk, guys. It doesn't make sense to buy at these levels. Yesterday, I also posted in the chat how I think there's a very solid trade opportunity, and I was really hoping that people would take me in on it. So right now, if you watch my risk management video, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched my risk management video, you need to watch that. That is like the absolute essential videos you must watch to understand anything about this group. And also there's a risk management video, and there's also a FOMO video. Now I'm talking Facebook specifically. I'll transfer those videos over to YouTube once I get them nicely edited up, etc. like that. So if you want to check out Facebook and check those videos, you can. But the risk management video and the FOMO video are two videos you absolutely have to watch, because those will save you the most money. But the reason why I was bringing this up is because we had a very clean short opportunity that I brought out last night in the chat. And essentially, it's going to be a reclaim of this level right here, right? So if we got above this level, this entire trade be invalidated. But what I was expecting here is if you sell it around here and it drops down here, what sort of R to R were you looking at? Well, depending upon where you're looking at, you can see this RR is incredibly high. So especially if you're targeting way down here. Now, if you're targeting the previous lows, which is a pretty standard idea, you're still going to be looking at 7R risk to reward, which is still an incredible opportunity. But if you're going to be targeting the entire lows, you're looking at a 12.35 R to R. So the point is that this was a very clean R to R, very clean short opportunity if you did take it last night. And already you'd be up about 2R right now if you took that trade last night. So Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you guys real quick as to why it's probably too late to really dive into this trade or this trade right now, because our risk, you cannot change your stop loss. That's still the invalidation point. And if you were to change your entry down to here, you can see how now your risk to reward is only 1.72. So the better entry you get, the more risk to reward you're actually going to get on these trades. So if we do get back up here though, we do make a solid push in the 4 hour, this could be a very solid trade you guys can get back into. Okay, this is for a short position or for a just to sell and try to rebuy back in later. All right. Okay, I know it was a little bit of a weird little caveat I went on, but I think it's very important to understand. So, let's see what else. Yeah, on Bitcoin, I do expect to continue going down. There is some sort of resistance here. This is a daily level right here. So this daily breaker is providing support right now. So could this be the drop? Possibly, but with everything going on in the macro time frame, how this was an impulse down, this is a corrective structure as of right now. I think that's going to continue going down. So either we get above this, it'll get above this blue line and close a daily close above it, or we're going to continue down. There's no other way to really look at this. So yeah, there we are. All right, now let's go into Doge. Everyone wants to know about the Doge coin. How are we doing on our Doge? Man, I'm so happy to see this sucker finally start dropping. So there were a lot of warning signs last night. A lot of warning signs. And if you guys have been following the channel, you guys should be able to pick up on some of them. But let's go through some of them and just really start breaking them down. I posted this triangle a few days ago, a couple days ago. I think it was right here on the 6th. Yeah, 3 days ago. One second. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. All right, so let's look at our Doge. Let's see all the warning signs, all the things you guys probably missed. And you shouldn't be if you're paying attention to what we're teaching you guys, all right? So this was a triangle that I pointed out. We had 1, 2, 3 touches, okay? We had one, this touch, and this touch. So we had a very clear triangle. And I said, if it breaks down below here, like this is the line in the sand. If it breaks down below here, we're expecting downside. If it breaks above, we have upside. Now we did get a breakdown, right? It's right here. However, the key here is that we did not have high volume at all. So this right here, you guys can see, there's no volume like here or here. So because of that, this is the sign. This is what's called a bear trap. Okay, it's called a bear trap. So because of that, all the people who shorted the position or sold the position actually got bought into, and it just shot that sucker right back up. Okay, so if you notice that bear trap, awesome stuff, right? Came back up here, retest the channel, and then we did eventually break up. And now we actually do get a little bit more volume than here, right? That's a good sign. So whenever I saw that we got more volume than the drop, I knew, okay, well, I guess we're going to continue going up. And I said at this point, I said, we will make new highs. That was what I put in the chat. Now, did I say it's going to go straight to $1? No, absolutely not. I said we make new all-time highs. And this was the all-time high at 69 cents. And guess what? We did get above and we made a new all-time high. So was I wrong? No. Okay. It went above and then it started collapsing. Now, my mother actually messaged me this morning and told me that Elon Musk dumped the market. Swear to God. And I'm like, really? Interesting. Has nothing to do with Elon Musk dumping the market, guys. Not at all. The point is that you have these levels marked off, and as they start getting lost, like this is what happens, okay? So we're on a 5-minute chart, and let's start looking at all the warning signs people are missing. Well, for one, we have a very clear trend line. You guys see that, right? This is a very clear trend line. And honestly, I didn't even look at this chart yet. Make this very clear. But I know it's going to be here if we look around. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, okay? Very clear trend line. Over here, Let's look at these breakers that are set up. It's a clean breaker. Really it. Honestly, I like this breaker. I think this breaker makes a lot of sense. Let's go to the 5. We'll see how crazy we can make this thing. Okay, this is a clean. All right, this is a breaker slash point of breakdown right here. Okay, so went down, up, down, came back up, retest this level, but continue on down. Okay, pretty obvious breaker. That's safe to say, right? That's fair to say. On the very low time frame, you have this is a high, this is a higher high, right? This high to this high. And this is a 5-minute chart. Trust me, I know how stupid this may sound to you guys, but I'm trying to show you guys that this was not because Elon Musk crashed the market. This is because there were some very obvious warning signs if you knew where to look. So you have this high to this high. This is what's called a bearish divergence, right? We go over this all the time in this group. Okay, so bearish divergence is there. That's how you could have called the top here. Once it started dropping, you formed this very clear 5-minute breaker. Now on this had obviously a lot of volume. On this rise, where's the volume? I'm going to help you out. There is none. Okay, look at the volume profile. This was the rise. This is the second rise. So there was no volume on this rise. There was also a lower high on the RSI. So because of that, you knew there's a lot of weakness when it shot up. Now, this breaker was formed. It went down below. It claimed it made this trend line to be established. Okay, came up here. All right, it made this level, came down here, tested it, lost the level, never came back and retouched it, okay? This 15-minute breaker was also established, came down here. Now it started to do its little retrace, right? So in order for you to have confidence that this is going to continue up, you're going to have to clear this all-time high, specifically this breaker, right? Because this is the breaker for this movement. Came up here, hit this level, and as you can see, there was no push. It tried, but there was no push. It did not get above this level, right? So because it did not get above this level, it continued collapsing. Once again, hit this trend line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth test on this trend line. Every single time you hit a trend line, for every consecutive hit on that trend line, it loses its strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 touches so far. Came back up here. Then it couldn't even get above this 15-minute breaker, which was lower. Okay, let's look on something lower on a different time frame. 15-minute time frame. All right, here we are. This 15-minute breaker came up here, hit that breaker, could not even reclaim this one. All right, major warning sign, right? So because you couldn't even get above there again, it came back in here, tested that trend line for the 5th time. Tried to jump up, had no strength, then we came back down and lost the trend line. Okay. Like, this right here shows you how you can catch a top of a trend. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So let's go ahead and make sure we're all clear on the same page here. We have the bearish divergence here. So we have the bearish divergence from here to here. The bearish divergence from here to here. Okay, very clear. We also have the decrease in volume. This rise had a lot more strength than this rise. That means that this movement up had no power. Now, once we have that, we assume to be the final up. Now we're looking if we can reclaim it. Let's see if we can try to reclaim it, maybe with some sort of a fake out, right? Came down here, established a breaker here on the 5-minute, established a breaker here on the 15. We had a clean retest here, came down here, hit this 15, couldn't get above it, hit it again, couldn't get above it. We did show a sign of strength, but we got rejected on this 5-minute breaker, came back down here, lost it, hit this trend line for the 4th time, came over here, hit this 15-minute breaker, once again, could not get above it, hit it for the 5th time, went back up, and then utterly collapsed. Okay. This right here is what you're looking for to catch the top of any sort of movement. Did you have to catch the top here? No, that's just not important. You could have easily sold off here, here, here. Yeah, realistically, you could have sold off here, 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 and eventually the loss of the trend line. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 opportunities to sell out at above 70 cents. Above 70 cents, you could have sold out and been in a safe position. But I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't do that because you were too caught up in the hype hype of this coin. So now it fell through, and obviously we just completely collapsed since then. Did you catch the top? No, but you caught damn near the top. Okay, and that's how you trade this. Don't focus on trying to catch the top of a movement. Look at selling into weakness. Let's see. Yeah, Brian, if you're here, does this make sense? Please tell me, because like this is exactly what you're looking for when you're trying to watch out for a loss of strength. Okay, 5-minute time frame, tapped it. 15-minute time frame, go below it, tap it again. Lost it here, right? Couldn't get back above, and then we just started collapsing. This is exactly what you're looking for when you're looking for a loss of strength. So, or selling at a sign of weakness. That's major weakness in the market, and that's why it collapsed. I think Elon Musk did his thing at what, 10:30, I think. I don't know, guys. The point is like even if it did happen to coincide, okay, it was very helpful. Awesome. I just want to make that very clear. Like this is what you're looking for to try to catch top movements. And this is the first time I've looked at this chart. Make that very clear. I've looked at the high time frame, actually digging in here. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Okay. So now let's look for our signs of strength, right? I want to try to understand where should we be buying back into this movement. All right, let's go ahead and dump all this off because awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys. Wow, you even had an extra shot at this level. That's crazy. You also have right here, let me show this real quick. This is called an SFP. Okay, you have a high, right? Obviously a high was made. Came back down here. This had the strength to get above that previous high, right? Let's go on the 5-minute. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Got back above that high again. And then what happened is it just swept it right there, and it just had no strength to maintain it. So on this 5-minute candle, you see all that movement. When it went above that level, you can go to a 2-minute, 3-minute channel. There you go. Okay, cool. You guys can see what happens. Like this is very low time frame stuff, but you can see this sweep was a massive show of weakness, because once it got above it, it could not sustain it, and it just absolutely utterly collapsed. Okay, wow, this is really good. This is beautiful levels. Like I'm man, Doge has been so easy to trade. Let's see what else we got on here. Anything else? Okay, there you go. Another trend line. Wow, awesome. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This is on 3-minute chart. Test, test, test. Every time you test it, what does it do? It loses strength, right? It finally broke below it a little bit, but it was able to recover. And then once it did break through, it just broke through with conviction. Okay, guys, like I'm telling you, you dive in on these charts and you will get blown away by how. Maybe I'm missing a guy. I'm not super cheeky. I establish breakers and how strong they are. Kind of draw them on candles, not confident spot them. Okay, all right, cool. I got you. Let's keep going. I'm sure I'm going to find you plenty. Well, actually, how about this? I'm going to show you what breakers are important on Doge to try to catch this sucker. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So and make sure to watch the video I did on ANKR, on Litecoin, on Algo. Because I'm gonna, like, those ones make it really, really clear as well. Okay, I'm gonna clean all this chart up, so I'll make it very clear on which ones are important. Okay. Yeah, no worries. I mean, obviously Doge is like the one everyone wants to know about right now, so I'm cool with going on here and really diving in and making this happen. I have no problem with that at all. So what you want to do is the first thing you're gonna go onto the higher time frames, right? And once you're on the high time frame, you're looking for a level, so it goes up, and it goes down, and then back off, right? So up, down, back up. So this right here is a very obvious breaker. Now you have to understand what a breaker actually is. That is a change in price action. What that means is that the price is going one direction, but for some reason at this level, the other team fought back. You got to think of it between two teams, raging teams. You have the Bulls and the Bears, and they're constantly clashing, right? All the time, they're always clashing, they're fighting back and forth. Okay, when the Bulls start winning and they start pushing back, whatever level the Bears start pushing back, That is a very significant level. Okay, you have to understand the psychology of the market. And that's what we have right here. The bulls were pushing, we're shooting up, shooting up, shooting up. But at this level, between 25 cents to 32 cents, the bears gave one hell of a fight. Okay, and since on the weekly chart, that means that this fight happened for an entire week. So if you go to a lower time frame, you can see this. This entire area is when they were fighting, right? So because they were fighting for so long, and wait, let me make sure I get this right. If I go to the week chart, this starts on 19 April. Yeah, this entire level. You guys see how even though it's on a month weekly chart, it looks really like it doesn't really mean much. 19 to 25. Yeah, 19. There you go. 19 to 25. You see how much strength, how much the bears really fought back, right? They fought back really, really harsh. They dropped the price down. They made some serious movement. This is their legitimate fight back. You can see it very clearly, though, when you go to a high time frame as this massive solid block. This massive solid block shows that there was a lot of fight at that level. So this is a very obvious, strong weekly breaker, okay? That means the bears gave one hell of a fight for 1 week. Oops, I can't spell. Awesome. Now what you do is you go to the next one, right? You go to the 3-day. See what we got here. We've already claimed all that. Nothing over there really significant. No breakers that are established in 3 days. Awesome. Let's go to the 1 day. Okay. Now we actually have some more levels here. You could probably call this entire thing as a breaker. That being said, I'm not going to. I just don't think it's important because we have these clear ones right here. So this is an obvious breaker. Even though it's in this part already, we want to make it even a darker purple to show even more significance. So this entire purple block is important. This dark purple block is very important. Okay, and the more blocks you put in there, the more important, the more breakers are there. Next one is very obvious right here, right? Makes sense to me. So this is a very clear 1 day breaker. So we'll go over here. Daily breaker. So so far, does this make sense as to why we're making these breakers? They're very clear, right? And also, I get rid of the outliers. Some people don't, but I personally choose to keep the outliers out of this chart. I don't care about them. I only worry about the open and close because the bulls and bears fight very, very hard to what's called paint a candle. They really try to make the candles look a certain way. And if you watch a chart right around 7 p.m. Central Time, that's whenever the daily close happens. And so they will fight like hell to make a candle go above or below a certain level. That's why I like to wait until the daily close actually happens to see who won that fight. All right. So this right here is significance of that fight being finished, and all the other stuff, these other wicks and stuff, really aren't even that important to me because that could have been just an outlier. It could have been someone who got liquidated. It could have been someone who had a fat finger and made the chart go way too high or way too low. I just ignore all of those things. But if it actually happened on a daily, all right, let's see what I was thinking of me. I was wondering what other counts of not breakers. It makes more sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, clear breaks and price action. That's all I'm looking for, right? So now we have this clear breaker that has been established. So this right here is a very clear. You guys see why? Up, down, up. This was a massive fight. If you go to the 4 hour, you guys can see this is a massive consolidation cluster, okay? This daily breaker, right? On the daily chart, it looks really clear. On the weekly, on the 4 hour chart, you can see why. It's just a huge fight that took place. This daily breaker, you can see it. It was a lot of fighting back and forth that took place. And this entire weekly breaker, you can see all the price action that happened in this area. Okay, that's based on what you're going on here, trying to establish. Because if there was a fight here on the way up, you assume there'll be another fight on the way down, or when it comes back up to retest it again. It's just assumed. All right, so this is a daily breaker. And this is now a solid resistance level. Okay, solid resistance level. Very, very important now on this chart. Now let's go to the 4 hour. Are there anything that really sticks out to me on spots that are very important? This is a clear breaker. Okay, 4-hour breaker. Now, is the 4-hour as important as a weekly? No. 4-hour breaker. You know what? I like this level. I think I do. Because when you have a really tight consolidation level like that, that means there was a lot of fight at this one area. You guys can see just the amount of fight that happened here. It's very important. So this right here, this level is very important. And it did actually come back down, and it did go above it, below it, came back up. It came below, but closed above it, came down, tested it exactly. And when it did come back down, it busted right through with conviction. So that's what we're looking for. So yeah, I like that level a lot. Nothing over here makes that much sense in this particular cluster, but this right here is a very obvious breaker. I'm going to do a 4H breaker. All right. Yeah, very clear 4-hour breaker. It came down, it closed above, went down, closed above, went down, closed above. And now we have just now, as of 11 o'clock last night, had an actual bearish retest. It means it was testing from the bottom side and it closed below it. So now this is now resistance. Resistance, all this above right here is resistance now. So until we get above these levels, we have to assume that it's going to be very hard to get above that. And this right here, this breaker, is going to be the level that we are currently bouncing off of. This is the level right here. Okay, you guys can see this. It's very, very clear. So came down here, it busted above. Now the big question is, now you have all these levels broken. Can you go and do hour breakers and stuff like that? Sure. Am I going to? No, because I don't trade hours. I trade on the daily candles, right? So this right here, I'm pretty content. Now, if we get down into this level, you can actually map out some very clear breakers that happen. Like this one right here is a very clear breaker. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, actually. This is the point of breakdown. Damn, there's a lot on this chart. Yeah, POB, and this is a POB. Now a POB is going to be a level that is basically the last candle before a massive drop. Okay, the last candle for a massive drop, and you want it to go in the opposite direction of the drop, but it doesn't necessarily have to. You got to look at the structure itself. Like this one is probably the point of breakdown. However, a lot of people will make a case that this candle, the green candle, actually is the point of breakdown. I'm going to localize it to this, but I like that. Now this right here is another point of breakdown. You guys see that? How it goes up for the last time before the massive drop. So point of breakdown. However, there's so much price action in between this level, this level, this level, this level to get to there. I don't think this is significant anymore. I think this is no longer. I think this has lost all significance on the large time frame. This one though, I think still has sort of significance because it was held up on this level. See how this is the point of breakdown. It came down, retested, continued up. Because we don't actually have a candle close that really covers this up, I think this point of breakdown is still significant. So I think all these levels are very significant on this chart. I'm very happy with this, I believe. All right, so now you have all the breakers established. You guys can basically see the clusters of resistance and support. Now, one thing to take notice of is that you obviously have a lot of stuff here. You have a lot of stuff here. You have a lot of stuff here. But this massive blocks right here, this is called voids, okay? Voids are inefficiencies. This right here is what creates massive, massive drops. These voids are very dangerous because there's no sort of resistance or support that were built up on the way up or way down. So whenever you get into these levels, they usually almost teleport. It will teleport from 44 cents to 53 cents, and it will teleport from 53 cents down to 43 cents. Why? Because there's nothing here stopping it. Okay, there's nothing here. So because there's nothing here, it just jumps back and forth quickly. This is also a very quick, very good opportunity for something to do. It's called ranging, okay? And it's very possible that this price will do something like this. Let me find it. Very possible we'll do something like this, just ranging. Okay, that's, oh, wow. All right, oops. Whoa, stop. Let me do this again. All right. I clicked the button on my mouse and it messed the whole thing up. Okay, that is very, very possible. It's just to just keep doing something like this and bouncing back and forth until it eventually picks a direction. Okay, but this is the prime opportunity to range. And now, whenever you range like that, what will this become on a high time frame? This will now become a breaker. It will basically create a breaker to establish support or resistance. And the longer it ranges, right, it's going to have to pick a direction. It may go into some sort of a pattern like a triangle, right? It could become a triangle. It could become something like this. It could be like an ascending triangle, right? It could do something like that. It could actually do something like a channel maybe. That's not unrealistic. So it could do a parallel channel like where it goes up like here and then continue down, or the other way. Wow. But the point is, like, usually these prices are going to basically chill in this area for a while, right? And that's what happens. So there's a lot of support here. There's a lot of resistances here. So because of that, personally, what I think is going to happen, I think we are going to start ranging. I think we're going to start ranging in this area until we eventually break down or break up. Which direction? Honestly, I don't, guys. This is too hard of a chart to try to understand right now. The point here is, this is the point I want to try to make with you guys. Traders make money when there is volatility. Okay? Doesn't matter which direction. It can either go up or down. The point is, we make money on either direction. We either short the market when it goes down, or we long the market when it goes up. But when charts are ranging like this, that means you need to find another chart. So right now, I think that Doge is going to basically chill. And I think it's going to piss everybody off. Doge is very used to just chilling. It happens a lot. So you see how it happened here. This is a great example. It went up massively and then it just chilled till February to April. So for 2 months, it just chilled. Just like here. It went up, right? It went up. And then there's no sort of, there are no breakers formed, right? So what did it do? It just chilled, slowly on a downtrend from the beginning of January to the end of January for an entire month. This is what Doge does. It moves very quickly in one direction, and then it just completely loses all interest for a long time before it decides to pop off again. So if I'm a trader, this chart is what I'm trying to avoid. I don't like charts that are doing nothing. I want to go find something that will do something. All right. So basically right now, I think it's going to range, and I think it's going to go up or down after it ranges. I have no idea what it's going to do, though. All right. That was a very, very long breakdown of Doge specifically, but I think it's something that's very needed right now for you guys to understand what is going on, how to understand how to buy strength, sell weakness. Is there any strength in this market? Let's go in real quick, see if there's any right now. There's obviously a breaker. That being said, it's not rebounding like massively. For that big of a drop, for a 50% drop, you would think that you would have sort of a massive rebound so far. And we don't have it. We don't have the rebound. We don't have the volume. This volume was the drop volume. This is the buyback volume. Buyback volume really isn't there. So right now, I have no interest in Doge whatsoever at this level, guys. I really don't. Let's go to the BTC pairing, see how we're doing on it. But it hit this level, which is where? Oh my gosh, get the fuck out of here. Look at this. Guys, I drew this. Okay, I mean, obviously, I'll make this very clear. I did not expect to go up further, but the point is it came down and it hit my 4-hour breaker right there. Okay, perfect. You guys see how obvious of a level this is. So is this a level you should be selling? No. Is this a level you should be buying? Yeah, I think it's a reasonable spot to start buying at this level simply because we do have all this resistances on the BTC and the US dollar pairing. I believe so. But I also do think that we do have a ton of resistances above us, and it's going to take a lot now to get back above those levels. But yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to get some long-term holds in. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. 4-hour daily. Yeah, this is a really good area to start buying back in. If you're interested in buying some back in anywhere at this purple block, which I laid out a long time ago, yeah, like that, this is perfect. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, sure enough, there it is. Breaker right here, the all-time high. You have the previous all-time high on the pairing. Yeah, all right, cool. So it's not a bad time to start scaling back in, but does it mean it can't fall back in this range? No, not like you absolutely 100% can do that. It's very possible. So you want to be careful on that. All right, this is a really in-depth video on Doge. Now let's keep going on into something else. We already did Bitcoin, we already did Doge. Now let's focus on ADA is on a roll. Let's see how it's doing today. ADA's doing really nice. Okay, cool. So you guys see, I think this chart looks better. Yeah, there we go. This is one I worked on more. All right, so you guys can see how we have 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. Came back up, 5, it rejected again, and then it busted through. There you go. This is a very clear horizontal resistance level that was broken above. Very clear. So while Bitcoin and Doge were utterly collapsing, ADA has just been chilling, doing its thing, man. Like it's completely ignoring the rest of the market, which is awesome, right? That shows a lot of strength. So yeah, this looks really healthy, guys. Like there's nothing else to really say. It had a clean retest. I think it's going to continue going up on the US dollar pairing. There's nothing else to really say about this. That is a very clean horizontal flop. And on the BTC pairing, ooh, this looks good too. Oops, I don't want to do that. The daily. Is that what we're looking at? What is this? What is this level? It's the weekly. Yes, it is. This is a weekly level. Okay, awesome. So this is a weekly level, and oh wow. Okay, ADA, what are you doing right now? ADA, you going crazy? Okay, let me explain this real quick. This right here is a very clear weekly level, right? Weekly breaker. The next weekly breaker is up here, which is about 100% away from the current price. So from here to here, this is what did we call earlier? An inefficiency, right? Massive inefficiency. Let me go to the text. Okay, void. Go big. Let's go bigger. I'm gonna do 100. Can I do that? Whoa! I don't know what I just did. Oh, 100 minute. Oops, didn't need to do that. All right, well, the point is, this right here is a void. This entire structure is a massive void. There is no breakers in here on the weekly level. And I don't really think that anything less than a weekly is going to have any significance on this massive void. So this right here, from here to here, is free sky. And like I told you guys, when you have free sky on a chart like this, you basically teleport, right? So I'm expecting this to teleport from here to here. And that's going to be a lot. That's basically double the price, which means if Bitcoin stayed exactly static, it would double the price. So is it unreasonable for this to get to around $3 in the next week? No, not at all. All right, this is old stuff. Did videos later before. And if you look over here, is there anything stopping this from just shooting up and teleporting to $3? Nope, not a damn thing. So yeah, I think it's going to teleport. I really do. Would you sell up there? Okay, yes and no. Here's what I'm gonna do. It's a good question. So on ADA, you have this big void. Is it gonna do something like this? Some little fuck games will go like up here, up here, up here, up here, up here. Yes, okay. On some sort of level. Does it mean that it's gonna like just go exactly teleport, without stop? No, of course, right? Does it mean that? But there's no other level here. There's nothing else. So what you're looking for, you're gonna be looking for those. We should sell it there. You sell at a sign of weakness. Okay, well, let's go to the rules real quick, all right? You sell at resistance. You sell on a sign of weakness. You buy at support, and you buy at a sign of strength. Okay, this is a sign of strength. So should you be buying? Right? Not financial advice, but right? Should you buy when it came down here and bought and got this support? Right? It came up here, came back down and hit this level. Should you have bought? Right? Yes, you should have. Now, when you get up to this weekly level, should you be selling? Okay? Yes. However, you don't sell all of your position. But you definitely should be unloading some at this level. And since this is the only level in the way, I would probably, depending upon what your risk tolerance is, what your portfolio is, you got to manage it all your own way, right? But I think that you definitely should be unloading a good portion of your portfolio right here. Now, once you, let's say, you sell some here, and let's say this chart does this. Whoop, right on through. It teleports and it goes right past. Okay, did you sell here? Yes, right? But it should, after it does its fuck games, come back in here and continue up. So all that you sold right here, you should be doing what right here? Buying because of support, right? And hopefully you would have sold right here because you would have seen some resistances on the low time or weakness on the low time frame. Okay. Yes, I would definitely sell some here. I would definitely try to see if there's any weaknesses on the low time frame and sell a little more over there. And then whenever it does come back down here, that's obviously a very clear buy signal. Now, of course, if it goes below this level, what do? You sell, right? Because that's a show of weakness. Okay. So this should hold that support because this level is here. So basically, whenever it looks strong, you buy. When it looks weak, you sell. And that's really the basics of it. But yeah, ADA looks really, really good right now. I'm really happy. I'm already, let me see how much ADA I have. I'm pretty sure I have a stupid amount of ADA already. So I'm not going to go ahead and reallocate. Yeah, it's my 6th largest coin right now. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep it the way it is. I think I'm pretty happy with my current holdings. But yeah, it looks really healthy. I like it. Okay, I'll go. Oh, this damn weekly or this damn 12-hour breaker. It's the death of me right now. Okay. This is the 12-hour breaker. Came above, went below, came to it, above slightly, went back below, and now we're currently pressing up against it again. What's going to happen, guys? I don't know. The point is, the more this breaker gets hit, the more likely it is to finally get busted through. Let's go to a trend line. Do we have any good trend lines here? Not really. Nope, not really. Okay, nothing on the 12-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour. Point of breakdown supported it? Doesn't make sense. This is a pretty clean point of breakdown. It coincides that level there. I'm not going to mark it off because it's already been annotated. Monthly open. I think it still looks healthy. I really do. I think it still looks healthy. I'm not too concerned. I think it's consistently beating up against it. So I'm still happy with it. Let's go to the BTC pairing, see how it's looking there. We're below that, but okay, so let's look at the price action here. This is actually really beautiful. Okay. Price action. We marked out of our breakers. Now let's see how well these breakers have worked with each other here. Okay, I'm back. So on this price action, this was established because it was a weekly question mark. Yes, this weekly breaker right there. Yeah, that's a weekly breaker. And then this was established because it was, that was a higher one. This one was a daily, maybe? Yes, daily breaker. Okay, daily breaker there. So weekly breaker, yearly open. And this right here is just a massive consolidation of stuff. Okay, so on the low time frame, if you watch this, let's go to the lower time frame. Let's go to hourly. It came up here, tagged the yearly open. Came up here, tagged the yearly open. Came back here, could not reclaim it, which was the sign of weakness, right? So you should be looking to sell at this area. Once we started busting down, sign of weakness, right? Came down here, hit this trend. Oh, that was also the freaking triangle. Oh, damn, that sucks. All right. Came down here, hit this triangle, bounced up, did not have enough strength. We actually went below the triangle, came back in here, hit the trend line again, and now we've busted all the way down into our massive consolidation cluster. So this is that is a bull trap. Yep, bull trap. All right, this is the way I look at it. This is absolutely a bull trap right here. It broke out of the triangle, came back down. That's a bearish sign. That's a very bearish sign. That's really pretty concerning. We're currently testing against this breaker. So if you're looking to get out of algo, I think right about now is a pretty good spot, honestly, because it is coming back in here to retest this breaker. I think it's a pretty good spot to try to play it safe. I might actually transfer some of my algo into ADA right now. I'm really interested in this right now. Yeah, probably going to. But the point is, though, is that it came up here, tagged this breaker, and now we're sort of consolidating some more. So that's a very bearish sign. I think I'm going to do that. I'll write my little list of algo to ADA. There it is. Of course, it's dead. All right, whatever. I'll do it after this one's over. So that's how. So you guys see, like whenever I do these market scans, I actually do make adjustments because of it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty damn good time to start selling some algo and transfer to ADA. Now, am I gonna sell a lot? No, absolutely not. Right? That's stupid. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna probably dump off like maybe 10% of my algo and push it into ADA instead, because algo does not look strong and ADA does. And okay, I'm not going to focus on too much. Let's keep going. Let's go to the majors. Let's go to, I already went to Bitcoin. Band is just struggling. And for our Bitcoin Cash, okay. And if you guys have any specific chart requests, ones you guys really want me to look at, let me know. I'm just going to go through and do some ones I want to look at. What's going on here? Ooh, all right. There you go. You guys can see this, right? This is the BTC pairing with a higher time frame. Yep. Camp here, tap this level, we're retracing, going to this level. This is it, guys. Like this is that easy. It really is. So you guys see what's happening here. Will it get all the way down here? I don't know. Could it? Yeah, absolutely. Yep, there you go. Bitcoin Cash came up here, tapped this very strong resistance level, and now we're tracing back down. Nothing unhealthy about that. It still looks very good on the high time frame. I'm not concerned. Let's go to the US dollar pairing. Could I scalp this right now and try to make a little money off here? Yeah, but that's really, really small amount to scalp, and I think it's way too high of a risk. So unless you sold up here at the very top, I think it's too risky to try to sell down, try to sell here and buy back in here. I think the risk to reward is way, way, way too low. So I'm just going to hold on to it. I think it still looks healthy on the high time frame. Here, same thing. I think we're going to come back in here and test this level. I think a solid retest in here would actually get us the Bitcoin, the BTC pairing drop as well. So I think tap it here would be a very healthy amount. Let's go here. Yep. All right, cool. BNB. I know there's been a lot of movement on this one. Let's see how we're doing on it. I know a lot of people are calling for all-time highs right now on BNB. Let's see what I think about it. Is that some sort of a trend line? No, it is not. A little bit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is 100% trend line. Okay, cool. All right, so there you go. You guys have a trend line right here. Hit it, hit it, hit it, and then it just continued up. So as long as this trend line holds, I mean, the trend is up. Yeah, the trend is up. I can't really argue against this. So yeah, BNB looks good on that level. We go to the BTC pairing. Let's see how we're looking. Just reclaiming levels. I like it. Point of breakdowns right here. Point of breakdown right here. We have rejected off it once. So get above that level. We'll see all-time highs, no doubt. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Comp. It's working out perfectly. So yeah, going back above, went down, back above, back above, back above. That's what my expectations are for comp BTC on the US dollar pairing. So we're just chilling. Yeah, nothing too crazy. We did bust out of that trend line though. And we are retesting that trend line. Oh yeah, okay, this looks really happy actually. So we're retesting the trend line from the upside. We have just retested this level, which was a daily, I think. Weekly? What is this level? I'm not even sure. Hourly? I think it was. Yeah, that was it. I think it was a 2-hour candle. Yeah, 2-hour breaker, which isn't really one I trade much. But if it works, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. So it did held up. So yeah, it's working right now. The trend line is still established. It's still above it. It's in for a retest. That's pretty damn bullish, honestly. BTC pairing, once again, is inside of this major level. Okay, so it's in a very precarious spot right now because if it gets above here, that's great, right? That means that it's going to continue going up. The problem, though, is that on the US dollar pairing, it is right above all these levels, and on the BTC pairing, it doesn't look that healthy. So, and if it loses this level, it's going to get violent. I think 650 is very realistic to lose this level. So I don't know yet. I'm cautiously optimistic on it, but I don't know. We're going over DOGE in tremendous amount of detail. EOS, oh my gosh, look at this sucker. Look at that. Like, guys, like, oh my gosh, just came in here tapping and taking up. Like, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price action. Oh yeah, this looks amazing. All right, I'm not gonna look at the rest of it. It's awesome. Ethereum has a good candle right now. Showing a lot of strength. Ethereum looks really, really good right now. I don't think we've hit that level either on the BTC pairing. We are getting closer though. These two blue lines are lines I drew out yesterday because there's a pretty solid range on a weekly chart that I do like. Yeah, there's a lot of price action, this entire area. And so because of that, it really ranged in between here for a very long time. So I think that we might also come back in this range and hover around a bit. Yep, that's where I'm at. So Ethereum looks really good. Let's look at HBAR. I know y'all probably don't care about HBAR, but I do. I love this coin. Let's see how we're looking on it. Daily breaker came in, tagged that daily breaker, now continuing up. This is a good SFP. If we get a close anywhere around where we're at right now, I'll be very happy with it. I'd prefer for it to be higher, but that's a really clean tap of this breaker. That looks good. Looks really good. HBAR. Tap this level as well. There you go. Look at that. Wow. HBAR looks good. I like it a lot. Link had this golden crossover played out. That being said, it's now currently above the 200 moving average. It does have the golden crossover. This looks very healthy. Yeah, it looks really healthy. I like it. We do have a lot of resistance above us, though. Be aware that it did grind down, and when it grinds down like that, it actually creates a lot of breakers on the way down. Let's look on the weekly. Yeah, this entire thing's a breaker. This is a breaker. This is a breaker. So these are our levels. Yeah, it already tapped it once. So if we do get above this level, the next one will teleport to here. Yep. US dollar. Let's see. Litecoin is doing well today. Okay, thank God. This candle is above 272 in 9 hours from now, we will have officially, finally reclaimed this weekly level. Finally, for the first time. We almost reclaimed it last week, and I was like, ooh, we didn't actually get it. But if we do finally close above here, which I think is very likely at this point, unless we're going to drop by like 10, unless we're going to drop by 20% today, we're going to get this closed. And that should be really, really good. I think Litecoin looks great. I think it's great. Honestly, I do. Litecoin. We are back in this level. Ugh, back in this level again. Retesting it. So Litecoin looks great, but this big ass breaker's in the way. So I don't know how I feel yet. It's a monthly level too. Monthly level massive breaker and weekly level mini breaker. Let's go. What else we got? Matic. Not Matic, I guess. Let's see. We have, this is a clean chart. Yeah, that's a really clean chart. All right, so we have a impulse up, consolidation, right? Channel, some sort of consolidation structure, low volume. That's how you can tell. And now we've broken up the upside. There we go. Impulse followed by impulse. So without any sort of actual work being done on this one, I think it's very reasonable to hit a 1-to-1 extension. So $1.37. Yep, reasonable. But regardless, though, very healthy structure. I like it a lot. Yeah, that's good. Let's see, what else? How's Raven doing? Ew, God, it's just struggling today. Oh, we need to get some levels reclaimed. Ugh. Raven's just... So I'm still bullish on Raven on the high time frame. So I'm not too concerned yet, make that very clear. But I really do need it to like start doing something. This is really getting irritating. So it's no longer in that range. We're now retest this breaker again. Is this a case? Not really. No. I don't know. Ravens, it's just consolidating. I'm not going to dive into it too much. It's just an impulse, massive consolidation structure that's taken like almost 3 months now. So the longer the consolidation, the greater the expansion. The longer the consolidation, the greater the expansion. So I'm not looking to sell this one anytime soon. I think that the high side potential is too much to be selling at this point because it's just been consolidating for so long. Just like DOGE, it took a long time to actually take off. I think Raven's in the same boat, but this will be a long-term bag for me. I don't see myself selling because the structure looks too good on the BTC pairing as well. Go to the BTC pairing, you guys can see on Raven, we had a super the lows. We are currently inside of this massive breaker that is an all-time level. Like, I think the structure still looks healthy. There's a very clear impulse. I can't justify myself selling at this level. So, yeah, I'm a bag holder, and I don't even feel bad about it because I think it looks really good on the high time frame. So that's fine. I'll hold on to it. And if you want to add in at this levels, I mean, by definition, it's not a bad level to be adding in at. So, yeah. Let's see what else. Let's go XRP. It's my boy. Love me some XRP. We'll do the BTC pairing first for the 4 hour. Swept this low. Swept this low really, really strong for our candle. Came back above. We're now inside this void. So we should teleport up. Makes sense to me. This looks fine. Oh yeah. So I told you guys, if I did it on a 1 hour chart, if I remember correctly. Yeah, hour chart. Made a consolidation pattern. I said whichever way it will go will be violent. You guys can see it chose down. It chose the violence. So it went down here. Not a too strong a level as to why it bounced here. Let's see if I can get it on a higher time frame to see why. No. Daily. Nope. I don't know why it bounced. Nothing is really sticking out as to why it really bounced here, but it did. Maybe this consolidation here, I don't really know, honestly. The point is, though, it did rebound, and it is starting to like really make some solid movements upwards. So I really want to see how this one closes today for the weekly. Yeah, I think it looks healthy. I think the fundamentals behind it are really, really good as well with the whole legal case going so poorly for the SEC. So I'm not too concerned. It's a very nice looking candle there. Yep, very nice looking candle. And that's probably going to go over today. So, well, I think I'm going to end it here. So that's my live scan of the whole market to give you guys an idea of what I expect and all that good stuff for everything going on. If you guys have any questions, like always, let me know. And enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to try to record a video before I head out and do all my Mother's Day stuff. So do trade stocks too.